welcome to the Astroimaging Journey channel. Please enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. And in this episode I just wanted to just kind of explain why I won't be jumping on the California Nebula bandwagon. Here we are, the 27th of November, and at least here in the States, the United States, yesterday was Thanksgiving. So I was going through, holiday, so you're doing things with family and everything. And I was going through this morning, responding to comments on the videos and updating my watch list. My watch list for my watch later list for videos and checking out what new content other astroimagers have put up there. And the common theme seems to be the California Nebula. So I decided to go into Stellarium and look at where it's at from my perspective. So let's do an F3 and California Nebula. I already searched for it once. It's below the horizon, and let's get to our imaging time, which for me will be starting around 7 o'clock, 6:45. It's cloudy tonight, so I can't image tonight. But if I wanted to, I'd be able to start imaging, looks like a little bit after 7 o'clock. Let's let this play out here. So it's just starting to peek out from behind the trees around 7:30. So we'll stop it right about there because that's about where I would be starting the session. But then I was like, okay, it's a pretty dynamic target. Some good structure in there. Then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a second, these guys are using refractors and RASAs, and what would mine look like? So we come up here to the Oculus or image sensor frame. I think they called it Oculus at one point. Icon, and we click on it. And as you can see, it's got my ASI 1600 mm with the Edge HD with this 0.7 focal reducer, and look how small my box is compared to the nebula. As I zoom out here, I would not be able to get the whole thing in one frame. So that got me to thinking. I'm working on that other project. I believe it's the Monkey Head Nebula, and I'm trying to capture data on that so that I can do the mosaics. I already did a test mosaic with the moon. That was successful. How many different quadrants, or whatever you want to call them, would I need to capture the California Nebula in its entirety? So what I did was I came over here to Sequence Generator Pro and go over here to Tools and then Framing and Mosaic Wizard. And I normally have this set to a field of view of 1, so we'll start there. Type in California Nebula. I always thought you needed the, NGC, C, M, any of the more common nomenclatures like C11, M103, but apparently not. Now this, which we'll fetch here in a second, for my camera data, this is still set up for my DSLR because this is on my processing laptop that I was using prior to getting the monochrome camera and the remote PC. So I haven't updated this to match that yet, but it's pretty close. It's like 4,000 by 3,000. Let's go with that. Let's go with 4,000 by 3,000. It's a little bit more than that. It's like 4,500, 3,200 or something like that. Excuse me. But it's basically a 4:3 ratio. And we'll leave my angle at 90 for now. And if I do a fetch, so that's my field of view. And if I drag, what's my imaging box going to look like? And clearly, this is not going to be large enough. This field of view isn't large enough to get the whole thing in there. So I did a couple quick tests earlier, and I found a field of view 6 gets me the majority of the nebula. A little bit of a tailing here that might get cut off, but for the purposes of this, we'll leave it be. And now if I drag this over, look at how many panels. That's the word I was looking for. Panels I would need to take. 204 panels. That's a lot. Now we can reduce that. So let's refetch. And we can see it's a little bit past 45 degrees. So let's go to a 45 and see where that takes us. That gets us pretty well horizontal. So we can drag our box across it. And the top is right about in here. And there's the leftmost edge, so we'll start about right here. And we'll drag it down to about there. And that yields us 135 panels. And that is not even going to be close to a 16 by 9 ratio, let alone a 4 by 3 ratio, depending on what I wanted to do for this. Would it be for a desktop and 16 by 9 ratio? Would it be for print? That would be tough to do. So we'll probably have to extend this up a little bit more to get us the number of frames that we would need. So, or number of panels, I should say. So the sheer number of panels I would have to do, and if let's say I wanted to go with just this data set here, 135 panels. Using my current setup, where I'm using every filter, one target, one panel will be 24 hours of imaging time. So if we go back over here to SGP, or excuse me, to Stellarium, and let's see, when is it going to approach the meridian? And right about there is where the meridian would be. So that would be 11:45-ish. And that would mean I would have about 4 hours on this night, and that would mean I would need, just for one panel alone, even if I could get 4 solid hours, because Again, I don't image west of the meridian right now. I don't do meridian flips. So that means I would need 6 solid days per panel, 135 panels, we're talking 780, 810 days, 810 nights to do that. That's an ambitious effort, and definitely something to shoot for in the future, but right now, that just is not going to happen, because that is a lot of work, number one, a lot of time, number two, and I'm not fully confident in my mosaicing skills right now, so I think that would be a time and work that would be wasted right now. So I don't think it's the best use of my time, the best use of my effort, the best use of my telescope at this point. There's so many other targets that I would really like to do. I would really like to do the Pleiades. Let's go in on that. So if we look at the Pleiades, however you pronounce it, Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. So we got M45. So we come back over here and we do M45 and field of view of 2. What do we get? And it's a little bit off. So if we go to 3, okay, that's a little bit better. Shoot, I'm going to have to redo it. Even this, just on that real quick one right there, if I pull this out about like that, because I want to get these outer nebula bands, that's still going to be a 42 panel mosaic. So I think even ones like this, just not going to be in the cards for me right now. You know, there's enough targets. We're getting into galaxy season. So we got some stuff coming up. You know, we got Bode's Galaxy and the Cigar Galaxy and the Garland Galaxy, right? All 3 of these right here. You know, I had been collecting some data on these before my camera died in the spring, and earlier this year, I should say. I did have some data on these. I thought I had completed them because I had all my narrowband, but now I'm doing some other stuff, so I'm revisiting these targets, and these are now part of my imaging session, specifically M82 and M81, as sort of time fillers while I'm collecting data on the Monkey Head Nebula, which, where's that at? Monkey Head Nebula, there we are. So, still working on collecting data on that one. I like that one there too. Kind of looks like a jellyfish. No, looks more like a sponge. But I had a few other targets that I'm working on completing right now. C15 is one of them. The Cocoon Nebula, I'm almost done with that one. And there's a couple targets I'm really close to finishing that I'm trying to get finished before I go full bore onto doing the Monkey Head. And we know that the Monkey Head Nebula is going to be a 9-panel mosaic for me. So, you know, we'll do that one as a test run before I try to tackle anything like the Pleiades or anything larger than 9 panels at this point. But there's enough out there that I want to get images that are single frame images, single panel images, so we'll do that. But in case anybody was wondering, you know, everybody else out there, they're doing, or I shouldn't say everybody else, fair amount of people, fair amount of our fellow astroimagers out there, they're getting the California Nebula. It's one of those, you know, must image targets that you have to do in the hobby at some point. And given my focal length, not going to happen anytime soon. So, in case you were wondering, that's why. And also, just a little quick thing, if you want to test out what you're seeing too, you know, is the target feasible for you? You know, Stellarium with the image sensor frame and SGP, if you use that, and the framing and mosaic wizard will do wonders to help you determine, you know, is this within my current skill set? Am I going to need extra panels, or can I fit it in a single panel? So with that, I'm going to say thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please stick around for the outro. Please stay safe and healthy out there. As always, clear skies, and have a good one.
Thank you for watching yet another video from the Astroimaging Junior channel. Really appreciate your viewership. In our upper right, we have the latest video we've uploaded. In our lower right, we have what YouTube might think you would enjoy. And in the lower left is our subscription button. Please like this video, subscribe if you so choose. As always, clear skies, have a good one, and remember Duke.